Shalom, fam. Um, First, I pray you've spent time with the Most High. You've already prayed, read scripture, checked out Pastor Kofi live session this rising or one of his videos. Um, just sat in this quiet space, just you and him. I do that sometimes. I just, in my prayer, like on my knees praying, I'll pray and then I'll just chill. See if I get anything, see if I hear anything. You never know. I have made a few videos. But I'm not going to be able to post them just yet. And I'm not going to explain it in this video either, but I will eventually. So, I've been watching this series. I think I'm allowed to say Netflix. Netflix and YouTube aren't in competition, I don't think. It's on Netflix. It's called The Following. As you see, I have it. I have written some stuff down. When I started watching the series initially, because it had 3 seasons. Yes, 3 seasons. So the first season, I was so hooked. I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is really good." So it's more or less about a serial unaliver. The detective who was looking for him, the unaliver, his wife, and that detective eventually fell in love. And they had some kind of a relationship, but not really, because once she found out what he was doing, she divorced him once he went to jail. But the unaliver, very smart, very cunning, very clever. Through the whole first season, it was more or less him and her boyfriend-ish, the detective. It was more or less like a competition between the two of them, for her. Because even though he's out here unaliving people, he still loved her and the child that they had. And he, for the most part, just wanted his family back. But she didn't want to be with him because he's unaliving people. So, that was what the whole first season was kind of about. Every now and again, you will hear a little something, and because ever since I've been learning truth, I hear music differently. I see television shows and all of the stuff they have on the internet and stuff. I see things differently. I don't see them the way that I used to. And so when I find something that's interesting, like The Following, and it's called The Following because the person who was in prison for unaliving all of these people, women, he was also a professor or a teacher of some sort, where I guess would you say he taught whatever it is he was teaching. I think it was kind of like a history or something. I can't remember. He was a teacher, but he would have them write papers. He would kind of pay attention to how they do things, what makes them tick kind of thing. And he realized he could mold them into following him. And so he had a lot of followers. And so the following. So the first season, yeah. So it ended on like a cliffhanger. So of course I'm ready to see, what's going on in season two. So season two comes on and I'm like, oh wait, that's different. It was so different that I went back to season one because I'm like, wait a minute, is this the same thing? I mean, I'm seeing the same people, but this has to be completely different. But no, it wasn't. It was just season two. I'm like, wow. And then I'm saying, whoa, just more different things. I'm like, wow, am I hearing this? Like, am I the only one hearing what they're saying? And so, I mean, it just kept getting darker and darker. And so now I'm curious. I want to see what season three is going to be about. And boy, oh boy, it was even darker. So I'm going to read this. Um, because I just thought it was interesting. So I go, at first, the following just seemed like a good show to me. Something interesting that caught my eye. But I kept watching and I started noticing something. Every season got darker, not in just what was happening, but what was said. There was a line that really caught my eye. So the following, the students that was following this teacher who ended up becoming a serial unaliver. Um, see, he read the Bible and he more or less changed the way the Bible meant things to be said. More, just he changed it so it makes what he's saying truthful, and then he has the Bible to back it up. I hope that makes sense. Um, So here was the line that he told the students, and he was backing it up by what was read in the Bible. Okay. Um, we are the chosen people. It does say that we're chosen people. And he tells you which ones are the chosen people, but he was telling his following, that we, all of us, we are the chosen people. And because we're the chosen people, we get to choose. And when he was telling them that, um, he was telling them that this came down from, well, he said God, of course, and um, he was saying that they got to choose who got to be alive or not, because ultimately they were out there unaliving people, his followers, of course. They were out there doing what he was doing. They were honoring him, so they say, by unaliving these people. And so, hold on. So, yes, they were getting to choose. And so, literally, this is what they would do. They would be out there in the street and they would say, okay, pick who you choosing. And she'll say, choose him. And they'll ask her, why are you choosing him? Oh, he looks like one of my ex-boyfriends that I hated. Stuff like that. So, this is how they got to choose who would be unalived. And they were listening to who they were following. He said, you're the chosen people and you get to choose. Now, for someone that doesn't know what the truth is, that sounds nice. That kind of makes sense. We're chosen, so we get to choose. We're the one that gets to choose because we're the chosen ones. But that could sound right to someone if you don't know what the word is or what the word says. Um, this was another line that they said. It says, if you believe it, it can become your reality. So if you believe that you're the chosen and you get to choose, you don't see nothing wrong with going out here just unaliving people left and right, because that's what they were doing. Um, this is something else. They were, Joe was the man that was a serial unaliver. That was his name. And Joe and another person were talking about something, and the person said that they were going to pray to their God. And he was telling them, religion is a business. He said, which God are you going to pray to? There are over 2,000 gods. Look that up. Just look that up. Now, these are lines from a series. Religion is a business. There are so many different religions. There's so many. Then everybody's like, we're our God, God, we they trust and believe in God. It's on the money and all the things. But there's over 2,000 gods. So which God is the God you believe in and trust in? But the King of Kings, right? That means there's only one. The number one, King of Kings. So would his name be different than all the gods, since it's over 2,000 of them? I don't know. Like I said, I look at movies and I look at things and I just see it differently. There is a difference between what Yehovah established and what people have built in his name. Yehovah is not a religion. People build People build systems, create movements, and gain followers like Joe did on the series The Following. It's a huge deal. It's a career now. If you're a content creator with so many followers, that's a career. I hear people say it all the time. I'm a content creator. I'm trying to build my career. And some of the content that's out here, it's outrageous. It's wild. But they get the most followers, the most likes, and all the things, which makes sense. It appeals to the sinful side of you. And most people believe, I'm not even gonna lie. I have fun. So I thought, just out there clowning. It seemed like a lot of fun. I laughed a lot. But I was so empty on the inside, very empty. The books that they're out here, the television shows and things that they have out here, they have a lot of things out there that tell you the absolute truth. Absolute truth. But then they bombard you with stuff like Clarissa Shields and Papoose and 50 Cent and the Beefs and T.I. and 50 Cent Beef, Remy Ma and Clip, all of those little things. They make sure they put enough of it out there to keep us so involved in the madness, the chaos, that you don't see what's really going on. If you get a chance, it's 3 series. Y'all should just check it out. See if you see what I see. See if it. Maybe I shouldn't invite people to watch that. It does get really dark. It really, really does. And I was talking to someone. I said, if a person was, say, if they were searching for something, and they watch this series, it could turn them bad. Like, yeah, they have them turned over to the dark side. That's why it is important that you pay attention to the things you watch, as well, especially your children. The music you hear, they all open up different things, and people don't want to believe it, and that's fine. You don't have to believe it, but if you're an adult, you know that there are times when, say, you were pissed off. I always go that route because anger was always my first emotion. So there'd be just the right songs that would just help push me right over the edge. I had a playlist because back in the day um, you have little cassette tapes. So I have my little cassette tapes with just the right songs when I'm pissed. But I also have one for when I felt sad, and I had a playlist for that. Then you have one when you so called in love, and you got a playlist for that. They had a cassette for that. It does make a difference. It does help push you over the edge, bad or good. Nothing on this earth that happens is just because. Everything, there's a reason for it. Yeah, the following. hmm It was a good one. It was a good one. It made me see a lot of things. I'm gonna watch it again because you always see something that you didn't see the first time. You go back to the beginning and watch it again. Hmm. Oh well, that was interesting to me. I don't know how interesting that was to you, um, but enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao. Chat with you later. Shalom.